I have here in front of me the ultimate collection of skill toys, and they're made of plastic. No, not that, that's just apple juice. I'm talking about this amber colored plastic that is taking the everyday carry world by storm, and now the skill toy world. We're going to be having a look at Around Square's new Ultim collection, 5 in total, so be sure to stick to the end to see the newest of new. But before we get into that, let me tell you about how we got here. Back in 2017, I came across a YouTube video from Kuma Films that featured this, the Beglary. Beglary are an age-old skill toy that originates from Greece that consists of 2 beads and 1 string. They're used to help keep the hands busy and just for fun in general. So Matt over at Around Square had designed these Titan Beglary made out of titanium. I reached out to Matt to see if he would be interested in sending me a set to review, and bam, almost 7 years later, we now have a huge lineup of skill toys that have gone way beyond just the Beglary. So first, let's start off with where it all began. These are the Titan Beglary now in Ultim, and these are the hardcore versions to be exact, in that the outer shell of the Beglary is made of Ultim and the insides have interchangeable cores that can vary in weight and material. The cores I have here are the titanium Newtons. These play wonderfully and the translucent amber Ultim is just gorgeous to look at. But I'll be saying that for pretty much every piece. The domed shape of the Titans lead to a really comfortable play experience. And the clack. My word, the clack. These sound awesome. They are somewhat comparable to the Delrin, but they do sound somewhat unique on their own. I've always loved the design of the Titans, and the fact that these are now made out of Ultim makes this one of my top sets. And also check out this beautiful blue cord that these Titans are strung up on, and these are Around Square's proprietary silk paracord, and it feels just amazing. It's super smooth and feels great on the fingers when you're playing with the Beglary. So moving on. We've seen the Knucklebone before, and this is the OG Knucklebone, but in Ultim form. Now I've been playing with the titanium one for years at this point, and we also now have the Slim Mini or Slim Mini version. This is a shrunk down version, and as you can see compared to the original, not only is it shorter, but the center portion of the Knucklebone has been slimmed down. And it does give this Slim Mini version a very different feel. With the original, I do feel I have a bit more to manipulate with my fingers, but this slim version feels almost insignificant in between my fingers. However, it does feel a lot more nimble. It's kind of hard to explain, but it almost feels too tiny if that makes any sense, but I think I'm still getting used to the size and the feel. Momentum-based tricks will be harder to do, of course, as it's very light. I personally do like the original a bit more, but the fact again that these two are in Ultim makes them super enjoyable. They are polished and have a transparent look, and if you're on Instagram, these guys are just really awesome to take photos of. And now for my favorite piece out of the collection, we have the Mala Combloy Ultras or MK Ultras, and these are in the new, at least to me, Milos bead shape. So if you look here closely at the beads themselves, they're almost apple shaped. They feel great when being manipulated, and the Ultras can be played with much like the Beglary. However, the moves are a bit more simplified. And of course, the most satisfying move with the Ultras is always the raindrops. I mean, just listen to the sound and the clack. The only other more satisfying sound would be that of my mechanical keyboard, and I'm all about tactile and auditory experiences, as you can see. This particular set has been set up in the Chef Special mode, as 4 beads have been removed, which gives it more space in between the separated packets of beads, and it does make them a bit more playable. The Ultras can also be manipulated in a much more subtle way, as they can be used for bead counting, breath work, and mindfulness. You simply count from one end to the other, flip, and repeat. Just something again you can manipulate to keep the hands busy and the mind quiet. Now you can of course wear these by double wrapping the Kevlar cord around the wrist, and then you cinch the titanium keeper beads on the tail to lock it down. This double bead is part of the Chef Special configuration, by the way, and I do believe they normally come with a single keeper boss bead. Now, much like the Titans I showed earlier, these are again strung up on some new proprietary cord from Around Square, in this case the Kevlar, and now in this beautiful blue colorway. Matt has also sent me samples in red and light yellow, which I will be reviewing of course, as we'll be making some crafts and bracelets with it. And finally, for the new stuff, this is the banzhi. A banzhi is a traditional Chinese piece of jewelry, in this case a thumb ring, that was derived from an implement of warfare. Chinese archers wore a ring to protect their thumbs from the heavy tension of the bowstring. Banzhi were typically made from jade, but in this case we have one made from altum. While this is primarily a piece of jewelry, you can manipulate it like some of the skill toys. However, it's much more slow and much like that of contact juggling. It can be rolled in between the hands or between the fingers. And this particular one is very new to me, so I'm still learning the ropes for it. But if you want to see some top talent, check out Dexterous Labs on Instagram. And as you can see, the finish on this one is a bit different, as on the insides of the thumb ring couldn't really be polished during the manufacturing process, so it is somewhat translucent and frosted looking from the outside in. I do like this piece very much, and it's a lot more chill and relaxing just to mess around with. It does lend itself to a more subtle appreciation of this piece while it's on your thumb or finger. That pretty much sums up this Altum lineup, an amazing drop from Around Square. And I've got to say, this stuff is gold. Not only are these so fun to play with, they're just gorgeous to look at and take photos of. These Altum goods are dropping this evening at the time of this video going up on the Around Square website at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 10 p.m. Eastern Time. But you can get on the site an hour early if you're signed up for the Around Square newsletter, or check their Facebook page for the early bird password. Also, if I'm not mistaken, many of these new items will be on discount at launch pricing. So if you want to get any one or all of these items that have been featured in this video, check out the Around Square website tonight, link in the description, and also let me know down below which item you're most excited for.